Hey, thanks for checking out Pepper. In this video here, we're going to show you why Pepper is going to help you fill your empty tables and make a lot more money in the next coming months. So first slide here is we have is how many tables are empty during the course of the week. And the reality is, if you paid for rent, for your HVAC, for all your lights, for your host, your manager, your servers, your chefs, all those fixed costs are costing you quite a lot of money. And obviously you want to be able to maximize the number of tables you have filled in order to maximize how much profit you're going to take home at the end of the year. And really what Pepper is designed to do is to help you fill those empty tables. So how much is it costing you right now to have empty tables? Well, it depends on how many tables you have, but here we're showing just a typical example. The number of vacant tables they have on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, roughly 25 per day. And then on Thursday it goes down to 20, so a bit busier on average. And then on Friday, Saturdays, they're busy nights, and they only have about 2 tables open on Friday, 3 tables open on Saturday. And then it goes back up to about 15 on Sunday for a total of 115 vacant tables throughout the week. And the reality is, if your average for your restaurant was $55 per table, you're losing roughly around $6,325 every single week. Times that by 52 is you're losing roughly around $330,000 by having these tables empty. And essentially with Pepper, is we're going to help drive that number down from 330 down to maybe 150 or 200. But essentially we're going to help you recoup a lot of money that right now is being lost by having vacant tables. How do we do that? Well, it's through our app Pepper. And essentially with Pepper is, a user signs up to Pepper like they sign up to any other platform. But within our platform, we have one main button, Get Exclusive Offers. And essentially with that button, the user taps it, and then it asks them how much they want to prepay. So essentially if they're going out with potentially them and, their significant other, maybe they're putting in $50 because it's going to be that type of event. If it's their birthday's coming up in the next week and they're going to be taking out a bunch of friends for a dinner somewhere or for drinks somewhere, maybe they're putting in $100, $200. Or maybe it's, they're taking their staff out to dinner, so it's going to be $1,000 meal because it's 20, 25 people. But whatever that amount is they put that amount of prepayment into the application. And then the next step it asks them is what date do they want to go? Is it today? Is it next Friday? Is it next Saturday? Is it next Tuesday? They put the date that they want to go out to spend this occasion at. And then basically with those two parameters, how much they're willing to pre-spend and the date they select, your restaurant is now able to put an ad in front of this person that's about to spend money. So there literally is no better form of advertisement for restaurants than a platform where you can get the person right before they're about to spend money. So obviously you can use billboards or bus billboards or TV ads or radio ads, but all those advertising methods is not reaching the consumer right at the point of purchase. So that's the nice thing about Pepper is you'll now be able to offer that person an incentive to select your restaurant for that Tuesday or that Wednesday or that Friday to get them to spend that $100 with you rather than them select a different restaurant.
To show you how Pepper works is extremely straightforward. Along the top axis here, it shows you how much the customer is willing to pre-spend. Along the side, you have the day of the week. So you have the ability to change the amount of incentive based on how much the customer is willing to pre-spend and the certain day of the week. It's great because you can preset dates as well. If you're a sports bar and you don't have difficulties selling out during the World Series, you can go into the platform and turn off those certain dates. If you have troubles filling your tables when it's, say, Valentine's Day, you can go in there and put preset deals to 50%. Along the right-hand side here, we have limits. If you don't want to spend more than $5,000 with the platform, you can put that down. And once you've hit that quota, it will automatically turn off the incentives for that certain day. So just proving how easy it is to use the Pepper platform.
So the nice thing about Pepper is not only do we help you fill your empty tables, but in fact, Pepper is more profitable to the average restaurant than your current customers. So for your current customers, for the average restaurant, roughly around 32% of the revenue is going to pay for the cost of food. And then for a good restaurant, on average, about 35% will go towards paying labor and rent. And then another 5% towards occupancy costs, so things like upgrading your cutlery or changing your plates, whatever that might be. And then next you have your merchant fee. So a lot of customers today pay with Visa, MasterCard, other credit cards like that. typically you're being charged about 2.99% to be able to take those methods of payments. And then with your current customers, you're not offering any incentives, so it's 0% there. And you're left with a profit of 25% before taxes. So what happens if now you add Pepper onto your restaurant so you can start filling up more your vacant tables? Well, with a Pepper user, you're still going to have your food costs. So obviously if they come to your restaurant, you're still going to have to pay for the cost of food, so roughly 32% there. However, if we help you fill another 3, 4, 5 tables a night, you're not going to have to hire another hostess. You're not going to hire any more servers or any more chefs. So because of that, we can't include the labor and rent and your occupancy costs into the Pepper revenue because this is additional revenue. If you didn't have this customer, that table would sit there empty, which is costing you right now potentially $6,000 a week or more, depending on the size of your restaurant. But then next, we do charge a merchant fee of anywhere from 2.99% to 15%, depending on the package you select. And if on average, if your average incentive that you were giving Pepper users was 25%, well, you're left with a 40% profit on every dollar sold through Pepper. And the reason why that is because additional revenue is always more profitable than current revenue, because current revenue is what helps pay off all those fixed costs. But in reality is once you've paid off those fixed costs, all that additional revenue is so much more profitable. And really that's why Pepper is more profitable than your current customers. So what's that going to do on a yearly basis for you? Well, if you take your average or that previous slide of 40% profit for every dollar sold, if you're selling $5,000 a month through Pepper, you're adding another $24,000 in your jeans every single year that you can spend whatever you want on. If you're selling $10,000 a month through Pepper, it's going to add another $8,000 in your jeans every single year. $15,000, $72,000, $20,000, another $96,000 in your pocket every single year.
The revenue structure for Pepper is as follows. There's 2 plans. The first being the free plan. This is great for restaurants because it gives you no sign-up fees, no overhead costs, nothing. It's strictly free for you. You're able to sign up to the platform, test it out with no strings attached, no cost. The only time that you start paying a fee is when you start generating sales. For instance, if I were to go on the app prepaid to come to your restaurant for $100, Pepper will take 15% of that. That $15 is going to go back into generating more customers and more users to come back into your restaurant. Once you start generating roughly $1,700 a month in sales, it's more cost advantageous to you as a restaurant owner to switch over to the monthly plan. The monthly plan being $200 a month plus 2.99% plus $1 a transaction. We've made this plan because if you're on the 15% a month plan, it's going to start adding up when you start generating a lot of sales. So we've made it easy for you to jump over to the $200 a month plan plus 2.99% plus $1 a transaction. This makes it very easy for you to keep your profits in your pocket. These are the different ways to advertise your restaurant. The first being direct mail campaign. To reach 10,000 people, it's going to cost you anywhere between $2,000 and $10,000. The redemption rate on a direct mail campaign is less than 1%. You have no idea when people are actually going to come into your restaurant and use the direct mail campaign coupon that you've sent out. And it is quite time consuming to put these platforms together. We have an approximation about 10 to 40 hours. Marketing your restaurant through social media platforms. To reach 10,000 people, it costs roughly around $400. To put these platforms together does take quite a bit of time and skill. And as well with these platforms, you don't know when the people are actually coming into your restaurant to use the incentive and the marketing dollars that you have spent. The next we have is daily deal websites. For restaurant owners, it is extremely expensive to use these different types of platforms. You have to go into your menu, you have to find a really nice entree and then slash that price in half. Then you have to call the deal website and say, okay, I have 7 of these I'm willing to offer. Great. Now the person comes in and purchases that item, and then you have to give up another 50% to the platform. It's very cost ineffective. They take a long time to put together, and it's extremely difficult to generate profit from them. And as well, you do not know when the customer is actually coming into your restaurant to use the incentive. With Pepper, it is great. You know exactly when the person's coming to your restaurant because you've incentivized that specific day. It's extremely easy to use. As I showed you previously, you just enter the incentives for the days of the week. And it's cost effective, between 2.9% and 15%. So it just goes to show that Pepper is the most cost effective and easiest way to market your restaurant. The different costs of other platforms are as follows. Delivery apps charge anywhere up to 35%, which is extremely expensive. Daily deal websites charge between 30 to 50%. This makes it next to impossible for restaurant owners to generate any sort of profit. With Pepper, it costs between 2.9 and 15%. This makes it the most cost-effective platform to fill your empty tables.
So the nice thing about Pepper is we also give you Pepper Analytics, which allows you to see in your back-end portal of Pepper the number of views your restaurant gets in the Pepper platform, how many profile views you get, how many add to carts you get, how many purchases, and then ultimately how many dollars sold you sell through Pepper. So the nice thing about that is, if you're seeing that you're getting a lot of profile views but not a lot of purchases, well, maybe that means you got to change your menu, or maybe that means you got to add better pictures in there, or maybe it means you have to increase your incentive. But essentially that allows you to get those analytics in place to maximize the number of people that select your restaurant rather than them going somewhere else. So in summary, why use Pepper? Well, number one is you can easily reach customers who've never heard of your restaurant for free. You only ever pay us when a customer comes into the door, which is obviously different than social media apps or TV ads or bus billboards. All those other advertising mediums, you have to pay money whether or not a customer comes through your door. Two is you can increase your sales during slow periods with on-demand incentives or promotions. So the reality is if you're already completely busy on a Friday and Saturday, you don't have to offer any incentives on those days to get increased volume, on those nights. However, if on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're slower and you have, 15, 20, 25 tables open, well, you can use Pepper to incentivize Pepper users to come into your restaurant on those nights where you can use the additional revenue. And then lastly, the big one here is being able to get people to select your restaurant that are willing to spend, $500, $1,000, a high amount weeks in advance because, they're having a birthday party or they're, taking out their staff for a lunch or a dinner. So the reality is you can now put your restaurant in front of this person that's about to spend a lot of money, potentially weeks in advance. So why should you sign up now to Pepper? Well, the first reason why is because we're giving away $5 to every user that signs up to the platform. And in fact, we're also giving away $5 for every referral that a user makes within the platform. So if someone signs up and they get 10 of their friends to come and use Pepper, well, we're giving that person $50 that had brought those 10 people to Pepper. And essentially now that person gets to spend that $50 at a local restaurant on Pepper. So by being on Pepper, you're going to be able to collect all this money that we ourselves are giving to the actual Pepper users, on top of the money that Pepper users will spend themselves. Next is because using Pepper, you can expect 20 to 40% plus profit margins on every dollar sold. So it's a very profitable medium for you to actually fill up your empty tables. And then lastly, if you have empty tables, well, obviously using Pepper, we can help generate another $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 of additional revenue to you at no cost to you, completely risk-free. Well, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed our video, and we hope to see you on the Pepper platform.